Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Good Shabbos.
Please forgive my deep voice. This is the only register at which my voice is working this evening. I don't know if you've heard this, but there's a flu going around. And while I believe I'm no longer contagious, it has robbed me of much of my voice for much of this week. But if I ever needed proof that there were indeed Shabbat angels, I have it in the form of Michelle and Cassidy Browning, who are going to be helping me out with singing tonight. I will still do my best to call page numbers this night in the voice of Barry White, I think. I'll be calling page numbers, but most importantly, really grateful to have you all celebrating Shabbat here with us at EJTC. In a moment, we're going to begin with our first song, speaking of Shabbat angels, which is Shalom Aleichem on page 13.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bokem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzechem L'Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We continue ascending the rungs of Shabbat. There's a story about a staircase or a ladder we'll be telling later. But our ladder for ascending into Shabbat are the Psalms and the songs, beginning with L'chner Ranana on page 15.
L'chner Ranana, Adonai, Nari'ana, L'sur Yishenu, Nekid Mahana, Betoda, Bismirot, Nari'alo. 40 שנה אקוד בדור ואומר עם תולה בהם והם לא ידעו דרך חי אשר נשבעתי ואפי אם יבוא אל מנוחתי. ספרו בגויים כבודו בכל העמים נפלאותיו כי גדול אדוני ומלאות והוראו הכל אלוהים
And not only are Shabbat angels helpful in singing, but also in remembering things that I forget. So we've had the candles lit from earlier, but they haven't had a blessing said yet. So I'd like to invite the Brownings and also Adriana Quinn to say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlikneh shel Shabbat.
Amen.
The new one, I think. dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela, oh, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela, oh, shamo vechazon vedibo echad, ishmianu el menukat, Adonai echad, ushmo echad, leshem uleflet, enad ve'itila, likrat Shabbat, lechu v'lecha, ki lechor ha'berecha, merosh mikeden, nesuka, sof ma'aseh, be'makshava elah, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela, oh, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela, oh, mikros mechet, emelucha, kumitzeit mitroch havetcha, rab lek shevai b'mehavecha, vehu yachamor alaik himah, itamari nefar kumi, nifish bagay birifuli, ayad benishai vehitalami, korafel nifesh yehala, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 bnei Shabbat, ne kabela, oh, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 bnei Shabbat, ne kabela, hitorori, hitorori, kiva orek, kumi ori, uri, uri, shir davadi, kevod Adonai, alayich nila, lo tavoshi, velo tekomi, matish kubek, umatehemi, bak yechedu, ani, vehine selai, iriftila, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 ne Shabbat, ne kabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela, vaheyu im shotzich verukoel, mevahik yasis alaik, Elohai kismo satan, akala, yasmino smol, diprotzi ve'et Adonai, tarit ayarish, ben parti ven ismecha, ben Allah ekadodi, likrat kala, benei Shabbat, Etzola Tokemune Amsekula Boikhala Ekadodi Katkala Penei Shabbat Lekavela Leolekadodi Katkala Penei Shabbat Lekavela.
You may be seated. Yasher Koach. We're going to conclude this part of our service, this ascent into Shabbat, on page 23 with Tov Lahadot Lashem.
Tov leodot Adonai, Tov leodot Adonai, ulezamer, לשמחה עליון, טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, ולזמר לשמחה עליון, טוב להודות אדוני, להגיד בבוקר הצדקה, להגיד בבוקר הצדקה, באמונך באלוהות, באמונך באלוהות, טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, טוב להודות אדוני, ולזמר לשמחה עליון, טוב להודות אדוני.
Yasher Koach. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Good Shabbos.
I'm really grateful to Michelle and Cassidy Browning for helping us all sing tonight. I just had a bit of a flashback to that first Shabbat of, well, not the first Shabbat, maybe like the third Shabbat of the COVID lockdown, as people are calling it, where at first Cantor Ruth and I had continued to do services in here. And then we decided that it was safer to be in separate spaces. And so the Cantor was in here. I was on a webcam in Nell Chapel, which is still there, by the way, Nell Chapel. God willing, we get in there again sometime soon. And I hadn't learned how to use the mute button yet. Some of us were a little bit new to Zoom at that time. And I knew that if I sang while she was singing, they would bump into each other because of that lag in the internet somewhere. I'm not a doctor. And so I had to restrain myself from singing. And among all of the terrible things that we experienced together the first month, that was one of the most painful to me was to have been singing for so long with this community, with Cantor Ruth, with Michelle and with others, to have to stop. And I felt like I was, walking right after an amputation. The next week, I figured out that I could just shut my mic off and I could still sing, even though nobody could hear me. I could still sing in the chapel by myself along with Cantor Ruth, and it felt much, much better. So just thinking about that and how far we've come. So I want to speak. Can everyone hear me? Okay. No, that's okay. That would imply that I wrote it. So thank you. I think there are dogs barking outside to my voice. Yeah, I have notes. I'm not new at this. Well, relatively, we all are. But so this week's Parsha is Parshat Vayetze, meaning it starts off the story where Jacob went out. Now, why did Jacob go out? Because he was running for his life, right? If you remember back in Parshat Toldot, he had his good son listening to his mother. He had pulled kind of a switcheroo and wound up with his brother's birthright and the blessing that his father had intended to give his brother, which was not just Gesundheit. It was a very important blessing. It was the covenant with God that Isaac had inherited from his father, was now passing to his son. And so Jacob was now responsible for carrying on this mission that started way back with Abraham, but only if he survived the week. And so to do that, he had to leave town. But he also had to leave to become the Jacob that he would need to be in order to carry on that covenant. And it starts with this journey, it starts with a dream. And dreams are complicated things. As we know more and more, the neuroscience behind dreams and the anecdotal evidence, dreams are how your mind unpacks all the stimuli of the day and then sorts it and rearranges it and then puts it where it needs to go, including some of it in the garbage, because not everything that you take in during the day serves you. And your mind has actually had a lot of practice at taking those things that shouldn't stick sometimes and putting it away and venting it out. And I think of it like, you're bringing home groceries from the store and you take all the things out of your trunk and into the house, and the things that go in the fridge go in the fridge, the things that go in the pantry go in the pantry. Those things which you bought because they were on sale because it was the day after Halloween and then you have the big bag of candy, maybe that should just go right in the trash. But you can't, anybody who's been on a road trip can tell you that you can't really rearrange what's packed in your trunk from inside the trunk. Right? If things aren't fitting the right way and you have to put them in the right place, you have to get out of the car to rearrange those things. And so your mind, in order to rearrange what it has in there into the right places, has to step outside of reality in order to rearrange what you've learned. And that's why dreams are so fantastical. They have to step out of the possible to move things around, to put them back into the practical. The same way, Jacob could not properly rearrange himself for the covenant that he was now responsible for from inside promised land, apparently. He had to go out, Vayetze, And in going out, of course, he begins his journey with a dream. And this dream is famous. Led Zeppelin wrote a whole song about it, if you will. It's some people call it the Stairway to Heaven. Technically, in the Hebrew, it's sulam, it's ladder, which is also the same word we use for scales of music. But in any case, it's this mode of ascension where he sees angels going up to heaven from earth and other angels coming down from heaven to earth. And various midrashim on this, various interpretations. One is it sounds kind of like a shift change. The angels that were escorting Jacob in the promised land were clocking out. And the special angels that Jacob needed to escort him outside the promised land were clocking in. In any case, to begin this critical journey to become who he needed to become for us, he had to step outside of reality for a moment. And in a second, I'm going to invite you to go on a little bit of a journey. But first, I want to point to one thing this reminds me of, and that is something that's called timeline therapy. There's various versions of this. A fellow named Tad James developed a kind of timeline therapy where if you could imagine your life as a timeline, and go ahead and do that for a second. Imagine that you're on a timeline that goes from your birth to the end of the line. Where is that oriented? Like when you think about the past and the future, where in space do you put those things? Like some people, they put the past behind their back and the future in front of their face. You know, some people see it more left to right, but most people have some sort of orientation to that. And that line passes through them. And in this particular modality, one is asked to get real specific with the timeline, where they are, where the past is, where the present is. And then wherever they are on that timeline, to zoom up into space. Like imagine you're floating above your timeline. And you're floating and you're floating and you're going higher and higher, like a stairway to heaven, let's say. And you look down at the timeline. And you can see the beginning. And you can see where you imagine the end. And maybe you can even see the top of your head as this little dot right there on the line. And the purpose of this is to help you learn things about yourself without getting stuck in wherever you are on your own line. Because sometimes when we're stuck, it's because we can't see our situation. We can only feel situation. And the usefulness of getting out of your own line and looking down on it is that the farther and farther away you get, the less stuck you are in the feelings of that moment. The clearer you can see what lessons that moment has to teach you. And so, just briefly, I want to invite you to be Jacob. But you could also still be you, don't worry. Jacob was on this line. He needed an imagination that allowed him to ascend so that he wasn't stuck in being this duplicitous trickster, namby-pamby, indoorsman. But learn the lessons that pain had to teach. So, like Jacob, I'll ask you to imagine that you're lying down. Maybe you're outside. I know not everybody in this room is a camper. But you're sleeping someplace where you feel safe. And because you're sleeping, your eyes are probably closed. You're breathing deeper and deeper because you're asleep. And you can imagine yourself on the line of your life. You know where the beginning of the line is. You know where the end of the line is in orientation to your body. And there's probably, if you're human, something that you're stuck on. It could be something that you can't run away from fast enough. It could be something positive that you're reaching toward that you just can't catch fast enough. It could be that you're stuck at a crossroads, not knowing which way to go. But wherever you are stuck on your line, you know that there are angels. The angels come to where you're sleeping. They come to where you're sleeping. And they guide you to their stairway. And it's a sturdy stairway with a very sturdy banister. So you don't have to worry about your foot falling to the left or to the right, only upward. And you begin to climb this stair. And their angels are escorting you so you can't fall. You can only ascend in safety. And it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. You feel like your eyes are still closed, but it's so bright, you don't want to open them because it would be brighter still and you couldn't bear it. You're getting higher and higher and higher, and somehow in your mind's eye, you can still see yourself sleeping on this line. And the line gets shorter and shorter until your entire timeline is about 3 inches long. You see yourself as a little spot. And whatever that spot is stuck on, you remember that feeling of being stuck. But you are so high that it's harder and harder to feel that pain of being stuck, that fear moving forward. It's harder and harder to feel that feeling. It's like the color drains out of it. You are so high that you cannot feel that feeling of being stuck anymore, but you can still clearly see what that feeling was there to teach you. The different decisions that you can make, the different relationships that you are now welcome to. And with that knowledge, without any of that negative feeling, the next shift of angels takes you down the stairs. And you descend 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. And you can see yourself sleeping and you are so at peace. 12, 11, 10. And you can't wait to wake up, full of all the learning that you have done, inured to the feeling that was holding you stuck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you are in your body and you are comfortable Continue to dream. And your dreams put away all the good things that you've learned into the right place so that you continue to remember them. In your dreams, vent out what no longer serves you. And you open your eyes and you are wide awake. And you look down at the ground. You say, God is in this place. I did not know it, but now I do. And you rise from your path, see some steps in front of you. There are 5 steps. And when you're at the top, you are completely in the light of a new day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and your eyes are open. And you're wide awake, having let go of everything that stuck you in place, but learning everything that you have learned in order to move forward. When you release everything about your present struggle, but its lesson, what do you notice? The final blessing for you this evening is that may you sleep well tonight. And may all your Shabbat dreams be like wise angels at your service. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us here at PJTC. I'm now going to need a little help with the Barhu, which is on page 28, page 28. Please rise.
Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Tamid Yimlok Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Amari Varavi.
Amen.
You may be seated as we continue the Shabbat Olam on page 29.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shavenu U'kreveinu nasiya b'chutecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha U'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayeinu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem negei yomam ve'layla negei yomam ve'layla Ve'ahavata al tasir mimenu le'olam Israel, Ohev Amo Israel. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ready? ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשיבך בפילתך ובקרקע ודרך וקשרתם בתקע ובהומך וקשרתם בעלילות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
Read the next passage at your own pace, and we'll get back together in just a moment. We're at the top of page 31.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת אליהם ועשם להם ציצית על כנפי בגריהם לדורותם, ונעלו על ציצית הכנף בתלק תלק. והיה לכם לציצית ורתם אותו, וצרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו עקרי לבכם ועקריכם אשר עליהם זוהים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי. והיה כרשם אלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצא לכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Continue on page 32, page 32.
La 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 la
ונאמר כי פרדנו יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך הוא שמו
God Israel. Continue with Hashkivenu on page 33.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu El Shalom Le'amidenu Malkeinu Lekayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu El Shalom Le'amidenu Shomreinu Lekayim Usros Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu El Shalom Le'amidenu Malkeinu Lekayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu El Shalom Le'amidenu Shomreinu Lekayim Shalom Shalom Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom aleinu. Ve'kol amor Israel, ve'Yerushalayim.
34.
Ve'shameru Israel et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם בנית עולם אוי 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 בני ובני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפל. יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה בעמדי ברקיותי בעמק מלכותי בחייכון יום אחד ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו Yehi Shmeira Mevorach Leolam Omeil Maya Yitbarach Yitbarach Veishtabach Vipar Viroman Vinase Vitadar Vitale Vitalal Shmir Kudusha Brehu Leila Min Kol Berchata Shirata Tushbechata Benehemata Damiran Belma Vemeru. Amen.
The private Amidah for Shabbat evening begins on page 35b. Please rise. When you're finished with your personal prayer, you may be seated. We'll all get back together in just a little while. We conclude the silent Amidah with Kaddish Shalem on page 48. Page 48. Yikadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah. V'aman divra kirutei v'yamlit malchutei b'chaychona v'ymechonav chay t'chol beit Yisrael b'aglav v'zman kari v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olam maya. Yiprak v'yishtabach v'yipor v'yitramam b'naseh v'yitadar v'ytalei v'ytalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'rechemata damiram be'alma v'imeru. Amen. Tikabal sod hon about hon kol Yisrael kadma b'hon b'shmaya v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Shalom b'imrambah. Uyase shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimeru. Amen. Rise for Aleinu on page 51, page 51. You may be seated. Before we conclude the service, we remember with honor those who are no longer with us. This week at PJTC, we're marking the yard sighting of Arthur Abend, Davis Isaac Arno, Sarah Barheim, Gordon Dubosky, Samuel Dinnan, Bess Feinberg, Ann Foyer, Bert Fishman, Nathan Fleischer, Isaac Fleischman, Lita Friedman, David Jens, Harriet Gerst, David Goldman, Ray Hellman, Josephine Holzer, Everett Hong, Anna Kligfeld, Fanny Nell, Yona Collin, Dora Crickman, Solomon Kugler, Charles Moskowitz, Isaac Nager, Marcos Kvyat-Nudel, Dolores Ober, Ivan Orenstein, Louis Pollock, Melvin Powers, Sarah Rosenzweig, Leo Russell, Phyllis Ryder, Anita Sharfstein, Louis B. Silver, Annette Seitz, Rosa Steinman, Beatrice Strauss, Maurice Uffland, Abraham Vygotsky, Shirley Weissman, and Max Wiskind. You have another name you'd like to lift up, please hold that name in your heart or say it out loud, whoever you are, And if you're in mourning for anyone or marking a yard site, I invite you to rise as we say the mourner's cottage with you on page 52. Yikadal, Vayikadash, Shemay Rabath, Balma, Divrak, Kurate, Viamli, Malchote, Bachayechon, Uviomechon, Chaye, Dekol, Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Ubizman, Kari, Bimru, Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabba, Leolam, Lole, Omar, Yiparach, Vishtabach, Vipar, Vitramam, Vitnase, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shmei, Vicha, Riku, Leila, Komer, Hata, Shirata, Tushbechata, Mata, Amin, Elma, Bimra, Amen. Yehe Shlam, Rabba, Mishmai, Bahaim, Amen, Balko Yisrael, Bimru, Amen. Ose Shalom, Roma, Uya Se Shalom, Aleinu, Balko Yisrael, Bimru, Amen. You may be seated for a few brief but meaningful announcements. If we can flash this up on the screen. A few things going on. We are back in our normal Sunday center mode this Sunday. We have a regular religious school at 9:30. There's a social justice meeting at 10, also at 10. The men's club has LBSRS alumni and current students meeting together at 2 p.m. on Sunday. We have a celebration of life for Joan Halpert here at 2 p.m. and everyone is welcome to that. So those are the main things. Also, we have Shabbat services tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Many great things going on this coming week, and I invite you to read the emails you get from us, and we send you lovely emails, so please read those. If you're not getting those, then call the office during the week and somebody will set you up. With that, we're going to go ahead. I just want to say a big personal thanks and a yashikak to Cassidy and Michelle Browning for being our Chazaniot this evening. So will you help take us out in song? You thought you were done, right? All right. I'll ask everyone to rise as we sing together.
Ready? Okay, come up here. You can sing as loud as you want.
Shalom Aleinu, Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'acholam, Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'acholam, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'acholam, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'acholam. Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Orivo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'acholam. Shalom Aleinu, Ve'acholam. Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbos, everybody. So if you want to join us in I'm going to say a brief kiddush. The cups for juice and stuff are back there. Can you guys do the bread? I get this. I'll trade you. All aboard who's going aboard. Thank you, Neil. I think that's Liz. Thank you, Liz. So Kiddush this evening will be a spoken word bracha. Vayera vayvoker yom hashishi vaychulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'kol savam vaychal Elohim bayom hashvi'i milakto asher asa vayishbok bayom hashvi'i mikol milakto asher asa vayvarek Elohim et yom hashavi'i vaykadesh oto kivo shavat mikol milakto asher asot savri chavarai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'avav v'ratzon hineh lanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom techila l'mikrei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava uv'ratzon hinatanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen. Okay, hold on. Do this right. Yeah, here we go. Okay, you hold it, say the blessing.
You have to say it too.
Sorry.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'amo.
Good Shabbos, everybody, and thank you for joining us at PJTC. How did that feel? How did that feel?